Hello, love. I'm Aspen. I am an embodiment coach. I support people in creating freedom in their life through the lens of the body. And today I want to give you 4 ways in which to not calm down. So that's the opposite of what we hear. And I want to say first that of course, there are times that we need to calm the system, that we need to shift into the parasympathetic, that we need to ground and center and resource and come back into our window of tolerance. And we also can get caught up in kind of the managing and the strategizing and the fragmenting in order to not feel those things that are harder to feel, especially when it comes to things like rage. I mean, I know for me, like being a woman in this body, like rage is not something that I was ever taught to feel or that it was okay to feel. And so this is just 4 embodied ways in which to meet that energy in a more empowered way. Because basically, we want that. We want that juice and that energy for life. We don't want it to be invested in these places and kind of stuffed away and tucked away because it's exhausting. We all know what it's like to just keep it down. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And we start to get tense and things start to kind of fester. And so what if there was different options and choices in ways in which to meet that? So I want to give you 4 ways. And to first think of, opening up this idea of emotional power. Like what if it wasn't good or bad? What if the rage and the grief and the sadness, what if it was just energy? So emotions are energy in motion. And so what if we could start to build the capacity to just be with the heat, to be with the tingles, to be with the shaky, to be with the clenchy, squeezy, the shimmers, the shakes. So that's what we're doing here. And one of my teachers describes it as like there's a wave rising up in your body and we don't want to keep stopping it. Right? We know what that's like. Here it comes. Tighten, clench, contract, numb, push away, block, all the ways that we have. We want to allow it to come and to crash and to start to build that capacity and build our container to be able to do that. And I do want to say that that's incremental. So it's not like we can just go in and like feel all the things right away and be with all of it. Like I wish it was that way, but it's it's moment to moment and it's incremental, and you do have that capacity. You can grow it. It's just like another muscle and going to the gym. So just putting that out there. So to dive in, you can think about, we're going to meet it with movement, with breath, with sound, and with curiosity. So first way is contracting and letting go. So oftentimes we try to just like relax from the tense place or like make it go away without meeting it. So as a body, contracting and taking the shape of the anger, of the collapse, of the defeated, of the overwhelm. Can you physicalize it in your body? Can you feel what it's like to clench your fists? Can you lean into the jaw clenching or the toe curling? Like whatever's already happening in your system, to lean into it and to allow it to over effort it a little bit so that you can start to undo and to release and to start to feel how that energy wants to move. So a great example, you're feeling like a clench in the tummy. Okay, then I'm going to really clench my tummy. I'm going to clench it and I'm going to clench it and other parts want to get involved. Okay, go for it. And then release. Oh, when I do that, like all of a sudden I let out some sound, or all of a sudden there's this wave of sadness, of grief, of tenderness. So that's a way to meet it, to lean into it so that it has somewhere to go. Okay, the second is to tap out the body. Right? We can become like these little heads that are just roaming around on these bodies. So like to energize, because energy is starting to wake up in the body, and what's happening is it's locked somewhere, right? Like we want it to just flow and just be this pure raw energy. But what happens is we've learned all these ways to contain it. So tapping out the body begins to open up those energy centers. And it can also look like jumping, right? Shaking, Just you're activating the energy instead of trying to tone it down, dull it down, manage it. You're saying, yes, okay, I'm gonna meet you. And if it's active, which a lot of times the things we don't want to feel are very active, right? They're the whoos and the waves and the heat. So like, I'm gonna meet it. I'm gonna meet it with as much movement and breath and sound as I can. Okay? The third is, this is specific for anger and rage. I freaking love this. So this is to activate more of like that healthy aggression. Because rage, when you think about it, like it wants to transform. It wants to, it's a clear, undeniable no, it's a stop. And so how can we allow that to come out in a healthy way? So very simple. You inhale both arms up. And on the exhale, you squat, you push out, and you make whatever sound you want. You can growl, you can scream, and follow it all the way to the end. Okay, so with me, make it so that everybody can hear you. So you inhale up, and I won't scream too loud so I don't blast out your ears, but you can go, go, go. And then notice what that feels like. So you're doing a couple things. You're activating your lower body. You're pushing the energy and you're making a sound. You're allowing that energy to have some place to go, to move. 4, the last one, my favorite. Become a wild animal. Full permission. Full permission. So we are animals, right? And we spend so much time like overriding that body experience, like just, nope, not gonna have anything to do with that. So what if you were able to give yourself permission, put on a song, get down on your hands and knees, growl, move around your space, hiss, pounce, claw, just like imagine and wake up that more animalistic, primal energy in your body. This can be, it can sound silly, but I swear to God, it can be so incredibly healing. Because the thing is we want to relate to these emotions in a way that is orienting us to life, that is aligning us to take action on the things that we want, right? Like we want this juice. You can imagine that juice is kind of trapped in these little energy pockets. So we are finding ways in which to meet it with our body, to become more physical and to allow it to move. So to review, 1, contract and let go, right? Lean into the energy, physically tighten those muscles, and then feel what happens. Follow the flow. Oftentimes, we're unwilling to feel something, and that's what's underneath. There can be an ocean of grief underneath your rage. So that's a way to lean into it and to let it, right? Follow it with movement, follow it with breath, follow it with sound. 2, tap out the body, shake, right? Meet that more active energy with activation in your system, in your physical body. 3, the anger and rage, right? The whatever pose you want to call it, the warrior, fierce fire pose. And then last, to become a wild animal. So all this is to say that you have choice when it comes to how you meet these energies and these waves. And the really cool thing is that when you start to hold the capacity and have the container for the ocean and remember that you're the ocean, then you become less identified with this wave and less chance that you're just gonna freaking drown in it. So all of this is, it's an art form and it's you with you. It's how does it feel in your system, in your body? How can you say yes? How can you follow the energy and let it move? And it's like learning a new language. It takes time, but there is so much here for you. When you start to lean into this emotional power and this capacity that you have as an animal body, it gets really, really magical. So if this was interesting and you want to know more, I have weekly classes, I have monthly memberships, I have one-on-one coaching, I have resources and downloadable practices and all of that galore and goodness on my website. So check all that out, and comments, let me know. I would love to hear some feedback on this video, and also sending you a lot of permission to play, to have curiosity when it comes to all of this, and to welcome the rage, to welcome the shame, to welcome the grief. What if it was welcome? What if it was okay that it was here? And to explore that. All right, y'all. Sending you so much love, and I hope to hear and see you soon. Mwah.